Yo. All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Monday morning. How's the hair? Messed up. Gotta do a little of this. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you're not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed as these assets, guys. As the title of the video says. What does the title of the video say again? Hang on. It says, get ready, huge week for crypto. Trading analysis, $200,000 Bitcoin trade, ETH, XRP, Cardano, and AVAX. Man, if that's not a title I want to click on, I don't know what is. Guys, we've just had a very important weekly close for Bitcoin, and we've had a very exciting weekend for Ethereum, and we're going to be discussing the implications of this as we head into the final week of July. Is it the final week? Let me pull up my calendar quick and see. No, as we head into the second to last week of July. I guess July has 5 weeks, just the way it kind of laid out, right? Starts on a Tuesday, ends on a Thursday. But who cares what day it is, and who cares what time it is? We're crypto traders. We don't use days or times. We don't sleep. There aren't different days. You know, it's all one big long day. It all strings together and it sucks the life out of you until there's nothing left. Until you're just sitting there drinking your coffee from your dang market Cipher mug with your hair haven't shaved in months, all strung out on the caffeine. It doesn't even work anymore. All right, this is what we signed up for as crypto traders. You know, we didn't like the 9-to-5 life. You know, we didn't want to have a real job. So we decided to have every ounce of energy sucked out of us 24/7 on the crypto charts. What a great trade-off. Now we got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat. First of all, shout out to R Pink. He says, Christ is King. Amen, bro. Amen. Shout out to Bob Saget. He says, this is YouTube. Duh. And he says that to Webho We Got Banger, who says, whole life been rough. All right, we're breaking into conversations. We're breaking into conversations here in the chat. Shout out to Mr. Quail. Shout out to Phil Quirk. AVAX about to explode. I agree. If I am such a rich and such a master trader, why is there royalty-free music? Because it's all fake for YouTube. Come on, man. I don't really know how to trade. Because it's all fake, bro. I mean, every YouTube trader is a fake. Every single one. You could go watch YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video showing how every single trader's faking it. Nobody actually trades. It's just a big scam for people to get money from you, right? That's why, bro, royalty-free music. It has nothing to do with the copyright strikes my channel gets or anything like that. Shout out to Mark 3, purple shirt, so we dump him. Shout out to Bitman Sam, he says, live more, work less. Amen. Shout out to Dave Digital, holding it down with the wrench. All right. Yes, this whole stream is actually AI, for sure. Who else we got in the chat here? Jack Boy TNP. I hope he comes with a short position. Well, I actually am in a Bitcoin short position, but I'm also in 4 Bitcoin longs. All right, 1 short, 4 longs. So let's see. Shout out to Waffle Cones. He says, top of the morning to you. Shout out to VR. Shout out to Eddie. 99% will get wrecked. Great YouTube video title. All right. That's a great title to use. I got to practice my open mouth for the open mouth thumbnails. All right. Major shout out to McCall20. Let's hear what Jason has to say about the bullish summer sentiment. 2014 to 2016 summer was bullish. Yeah. Honestly, guys, July is an interesting month in bull runs. I do want to talk about this weekly candle close, but as usual, guys, if we can pump the likes up to 1,000 within the first half hour, we'll be giving away 1,000 USDT, baby. You've never seen a Jew not being able to grow a beard? Well, I mean, look, bro, I'm super watered down. You know what I'm saying? All right? Super watered down. Shout out to Francesco Mastragilo. He says, what's up, Jay and chat? May God bless you and all your families. Shout out to Poke Pack Customs. Check CRV, it's coiling up. We might have to check CRV 4K ETH today. Let's check it out. Shout out to Dave Digital. Shout out to Jay. He says, you don't trade alts? On leverage, not particularly, although I'm not going to lie, and I said this yesterday, I have moved some of my spot ETH into a very low leverage inverse perpetual trade. Alright? So I'm bullish on ETH. I'm risking my actual Ethereum on spot for potentially a big break here within the next few months. So I've got a low leverage Ethereum long running. Alright? Put about 10 ETH. 10 ETH is nothing too big, just about 10 Ethereums. Now I might add to it if we get a dip. We'll see. I got about 10 Ethereums on an inverse perpetual trade, trying to see if I could turn it into 20 Ethereums by the time we get up to some of my targets. Alright, major shout out to Paul Premier Yatched. He says, good morning from Fort Lauderdale. Is Big Butts 28 also a trader? Well, she does trade some stuff. Alright? She does trade some stuff. You know, definitely the concept of buy low. I mean, when she said yes to marrying me, I don't think I had a job, and I lived in my parents' garage. So she bought low. Hopefully she doesn't sell high. You know, now that I finally made something of myself, aka a guy who walks on the treadmill in front of people on the internet, I hope she doesn't sell high, you know? I don't want her to dump me like that, you know? Shout out to OG Blockchain. He says, yo, God bless in Yeshua's name. Amen, bro. Praise Yeshua. Praise Jesus. Praise the Lord. Thank you, God, for all your amazing blessings. I am full of thankfulness and gratitude to the Lord for everything that he has done, everything that he's going to do, and everything that he's currently doing. Shout out to Jeremy Clifton. What's the weight on the vest? Only 25 pounds today, guys. Sometimes I do it with 40. Today, 25. You know, what a cool hack it is to be able to gain 25 pounds instantly and then walk for 2 hours on a treadmill. Alright, you guys want to get jacked, stacked, and succulent. I'm telling you, the cheat code to life. Well, not the cheat code to life, but the cheat code to having a six-pack abs, being jacked and lean, full of energy, strong, is, you know, walking on the treadmill when you're doing your desk work. If you put on a weighted vest, you could gain 25 pounds, and all that walking is just even more beneficial to you. Alright? Alright? It's a Monday morning, y'all. Shout out to Adva, who says, Shalom from Israel. Shalom to you. She's a hodler. Yes, actually, Big Bus 28 is a hodler. She's got her own altcoin portfolio. Alright? She's got her own speculative picks. Alright? She's got her own speculative picks. If y'all don't know, Big Bus 28, that's my wife. Alright? And why is her name Big Bus 28? It's an inside joke that goes back to way before we knew I was going to have over 100,000 followers on YouTube. So, you know, it's a personal inside joke that I guess went a little too far there. Let's see. X is a little too bullish for a breakout. Everything looks like the cycle's top. It's getting close, my man. But I'd say not everything looks like the cycle's top. Not everything looks like the cycle top. All right, we'll talk about it. Hey. My last sip of coffee from the Market Cipher mug, baby. Jason is a walkaholic. Yes, I am a walkaholic. You know, look, walking's good for you. You know, they say you guys know who they is? They knows everything. They knows. I can't wait to meet they someday. They knows everything. They doesn't want you to know anything. He's a pretty interesting guy. He knows everything. He doesn't want you to know anything. They is always trying to steal stuff from you, trick you, cheat you, you know. He runs every government. He runs every conspiracy. He's behind every conflict and ideological disagreement. You know, good old they. Why are we even... Shout out to Salam96 from Palestine. Well, shalom to you, my brother. God bless you. What are we talking about? I don't even know what we're talking about anymore, man. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. But, I guess that means we gotta look at the dang chart. Alright? I guess that means we gotta look at the dang chart. Alright, yo, the top signals, right? The top. the top? Is the top in? In my humble opinion, and I could be wrong, I feel that the top is not in because I'm still expecting to see altcoins pump like crazy. Could the Bitcoin high possibly be in? Maybe, but I feel like we get another push up. I feel it in my bones. All right, let's talk about why. Let's just talk about why. We have ourselves right here. This is the bull market. So far, thus far, this is the bull market. Every single time we come down to the trend line, we get a big pump, all right? We have ourselves the bullish divergence, the bottom signal, the first trigger wave with the money flow cross, the continuation pattern, hidden bullish divergence number 1 for the continuation pattern, hidden bullish divergence number 2 for the continuation pattern. The hidden bullish divergence when you have a skinny momentum wave and then a nice thick fat momentum wave down below. Also known as the mirror mode, uneven butt cheek market Cipher B bullish continuation pattern. We go ahead, we take these cheekaronis and we splash them onto the chart. All right, and you can see that the resemblance is striking. Why is it a continuation pattern? Well, because here's the thing, you know, she's partying it up. You could tell she's dancing, having a good time, and she wonders, you know, it's getting late. Maybe I should go home. But then she looks in the mirror, she says, wow, look at me having such a good time. I think I'm going to continue what I've been doing here, and I'm going to stay at this party. That's exactly what we saw down here, the continuation pattern. And now we have seen a breakout. Now, this is key. On the weekly chart, this is quite key, because when you see that we get these breaks out of these ranges on the weekly, there's significant follow-through. All right, significant follow-through. Boom, look at that, significant follow-through. And we've seen it every single time. So the pattern right now is significant follow-through. More than just 1 week of bullishness. We can see it back here. Boom. Breakout, purple doji, pump. Wow, amazing. Look, we can see it right here. Big breakout, lots of follow-through. We see it over here. Breakout, big candle, follow-through. All right, follow-through for more than 1 week. So the pattern right now from every single breakout of every single sideways range we've formed in this bull run thus far, the pattern has been follow through for multiple weeks. Now, the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. And so therefore, we would expect a little bit more follow through here, right? I would expect a little bit more follow through, and I do expect a little bit more follow through. And here's something else that's quite interesting. The fact that this breakout is happening in July, in my opinion, gives more fuel to this bull run than if we had had a bearish summer like we've had for the past 3 years. Guys, the past 3 summers have been super bearish. Look at this summer here, sideways and down. We didn't break out until the fall. The summer before that, sideways and down. We didn't break out until the fall. The summer before that, sideways and down. You know, I mean, really, this is crazy. You know, June, July, August, I mean, we were basically forming a giant bear flag and then got another big drop, all right? The summer before that, 2021, sideways and down. So this is something that happens, and if we take a look at historical bull runs, it kind of happens in July if we're going to continue to pump. Now, of course, anything could happen locally here. I'm talking about the high time frames, all right? But we do have to give a major shout out to, first of all, the Casper Crew VIP Discord, because guys, we took the dang long trade, like literally from the exact low last night, all right? Even in a sideways market, you can be making money. All right, look at this. Setup given in the Discord, Casper Crew VIP Discord at jasoncaspertrading.com. Told everyone I'm taking the long, and then boom. If that's not an entry, I don't know what is, all right? We've been trading these dang markets. Long trade given. Let everyone know when I took the long trade, profits locked in. Long trade given. Let everyone know when I took the trade, profits locked in. Long trade given. Let everyone know, profits locked in, baby. All right. So here's the thing. As a hodler, we expect higher because of the high term time frames. As a day trader, look, it doesn't really matter. In fact, after this live stream, we're going live in the Casper Crew VIP Discord to give our next trade setups just like these, where I'll be updating my community as to what I am doing, not financial advice. We don't give signals. This is not a signal, all right? The fact that I'm long is not a dang signal, all right? But it's a confluence group. It's an educational group. All right. Also, we have to give major shout to BLOFIN. Very low fees. On BLOFIN, 20% cash back. We got to give a shout out to WEEX. Very low fees. WEEX right now is giving you 20% cash back. Discount on fees. We got to give a shout out to ANTARCTIC Exchange, a decentralized exchange. Very low fees. I've been trading on a new exchange, guys, called KCEX. All right, KCEX. I'm really digging this exchange called KCEX. It reminds me of MEXC back in like 2023. All right, reminds me of MEXC back in 2023. Very smooth interface, very low fees, 0% limit order, 0.01% taker order, no KYC, very smooth. Scalping on mobile, very simple, very smooth. The interface is smooth. I really love this exchange. I love it. I'm just going to be honest, all right? It's really nice to trade on. It's very smooth. It's just, there's no quirks. It's like mobile and desktop. I'm digging it, man. I'm actually really digging it. I've been having fun. I've been scalping on low time frames again this past week here. All right? So let's pop back to the Bitcoin chart. Let's make sure to smash up the likes. Let's make sure to smash up the descriptions and the prescriptions and the subscriptions. All right, let's check it out. Link in the description for all that stuff, by the way, with all those bonuses, whatever. Now, coming back to the chart here, there's two very important levels here. Very important level number one is this, all right? We have ourselves the value area high of the previous range. As long as we stay above 109, this is objectively speaking a very bullish chart. And then the second area is like that 112. So this is our box where we understand as long as we're holding above this box, we should be looking to buy the dip. Why? Why buy the dip? Well, because when you have a value area, a fair value zone for an asset like this, when the price comes down below the fair value zone, you know that two things are possible. Either we reject, we break down, we backtest and reject and continue the downtrend, which is a sign of weakness, or we come back inside and then make our way back to the top of the range, right? In this instance, we literally had both things happen. We had a breakdown, we had the back test, and then we made a lower low. That so happened to be the bottom where we got the major bottom signal on market Cipher B. And now we've broken out to the top of the range. So that means if we're going to continue higher, the back test is going to come in this box. All right, this box could very well be, if we get a move down, let's say this week or something, the place where we look for our next juicy trade. This could actually be the last trade of the bull run, like the last swing trade of the bull run. If we're going to hit 130, we're going to hit some people's moon targets, 150, let's say. This is the last trade of the bull market, all right? The last big swing trade of the bull market. Very well could be, right? But if we lose that box, things change. Because if we lose that box, the probabilities are actually highest that we will come back down first to our lows at 97. If we lose 97, probabilities are highest we come back down to the support resistance flip at 88.5, and then we need to reassess. But there's no reason right now to reassess or to take a bearish bias on these high-term timeframes unless we see this box lost. Market structure is king, all right? Market structure is king, always. You got to be looking at the market structure to get your bias and zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. Say, look, objectively speaking, this is a bullish trend. We have major bottom signals here. We made a higher high. We made a higher low. We've made a higher high. We're flipping resistance into support. As long as we're holding previous resistance as support, we should be looking for higher, okay? Now, we can zoom in even more to our local range right here and see that this is the local area that Bitcoin has been trading ever since the breakout. Now, this is really nice because this is giving us now our sideways range in which to trade, all right? And really, whenever any asset gets a big breakout, you always want to be looking at the sideways range because this is where you're going to find your entries, right? this is where you're going to find your entries for that next big move. You know, like, look at this. For example, the trade down here from $100,000, this was our sideways range, right? This was our sideways range at the time. And so coming down to the bottom of that sideways range, you know, that gave us a really good opportunity to get into a long trade that just so happened to be that big move to the upside, right? Just so happened to be that big move to the upside. And because we can identify these areas on a chart, like for example here in the Casper crew, looking for that long from 100,000, right? We can then get into the trade. It's the same thing that happened yesterday, right? We're looking for that trade from 117. Why? Because if you zoom in here, it's the bottom of the range, right? You see the fair value zone? Come to the bottom of the fair value zone. That's where you look for the trade, right? You know, that's how you can get these good entries. It's just the bottom of a range. You know, we're coming back down to the lows of the range. That's where you look for those trades, all right? So right now you can see that we did come down to the entry we gave in the Casper crew. We got the bounce from the bottom of the fair value zone. We got to move back up to the top of the fair value zone where it's considered locally overbought. Now we're getting a correction back down to the high volume node of the range. So locally, the high volume node of the range, this is going to be key. Can we hold this? If we can hold it, more upside is possible. And we're currently bouncing from around the Fibonacci golden pocket and that high volume node of the range. If we're going to lose the high volume node of the range, then it actually becomes more probable that we shoot back down to take the lows right here. Because something else that we have forming is the symmetrical triangle, roughly. Now, Bitcoin loves to form from symmetrical triangles. And as we're heading into a new week, after a very bullish, you know, this is Friday and then Saturday, and then we made that high last week, forming the range. Something that Bitcoin loves to do is pretty much wreck everybody by breaking down from the triangle, getting people bearish, only then to reverse it back to the upside. All right, we see this happen over and over again. So whenever you see a trend line like this, where we're making higher lows and lower highs, you got to think, all right, people are bullish. This is a bull flag, right? A bull pennant. The probabilities are this thing will break to the upside. But I know that you know, that the market makers know, that I don't know, that we know, that the market makers who are manipulating the price know that we know, that they don't know, that we know, that people are putting their stop losses underneath these lows, right? When it comes to trading, you got to use reverse psychology on the market maker, all right? Reverse psychology. Because the market maker knows that us retail traders are bullish and longing. So what they're going to do, if they want to push the price higher, is they need somebody to sell them Bitcoin so they can buy and then push the price back up. Well, how are they going to get a whole bunch of sellers unless they stop us all out, fill up a big order, and then pump, right? That's because when your stop loss gets hit, right, it's a sell order. You know, you take a trade, put your phone back in your pocket, set your stop loss, go out to play on the trampoline with the kids, feeling like a boss. Man, I just longed the exact bottom. Man, I'm amazing. Every single day, I shock myself with my genius and my trading prowess. Hopping on the trampoline, having a great time, all of a sudden the alert goes off. You check your phone, right? KCEX. It says sell order completely filled. Sell order? I didn't sell Bitcoin. You look at your position from the exact bottom and you realize that it wasn't really the exact bottom. And your position's closed. Stop loss hit was a sell order. Now, not only did your stop loss get hit, but your stop loss got hit, and then we bounced from your dang stop loss, and we're pumping, and you missed the move, and you don't know what to do. You're on the trampoline, you're jumping, your pants are falling down, and you're like, do I long the top now? I mean, I was right. I longed here, and I put my stop loss here, and now, look, it's because the market makers, man, they're always trying to mess with you. So this is one scenario. Be prepared for a triangular fake out here. Because that's very possible. Now remember, everyone's looking down to the 109 to 112 area, which means, this is another way they mess with you, we're not even going to get there. Or it means we might not even get there. People are going to be waiting for it. They're like, ooh, I can't wait too long. Can't wait too long. Ooh, I'm just waiting for a little lower. Bam! All right? So we got to be prepared for triangle fake out here. If we come down to these areas and then we're back inside the trend line, this, in my opinion, if we see bullish divs, which it looks like we very well may, that could also give us a potential setup, right? We saw the fake out, and now we can shoot for another breakout, all right, to our next major target, which is around $129,000. This is something else to be aware of, all right? Now, something else to be aware of is, once again, coming back down to this major zone. Now, look, people might be watching and say, Jason, you literally just gave us 3 different scenarios. Where's your prediction? Come on, Jason. I watched this channel, so I know what button to push on the exchange. Long or short. But guys, that's not how you trade. Come on. We all know that's not how you trade. The way you trade is you game plan different scenarios. Right? You plan. So that when your plan happens, then you can take action and lock in the profits like we do in the Casper crew. You plan. So when your plan happens, then you take action. You lock in the profits like we do in the Casper crew, right? You plan. Then when the trade happens, you take the dang trade. You lock in the profits like we do in the Casper crew. You plan. You know what I'm saying? You got to plan for different scenarios. Trading is not, oh, I feel like the price is going to go up, so I long. No, that's dumb, guys. You're going to get wrecked. You can't do that with good risk management. Unless you're crypto face and you have such a good intuition on the market. You can't do that, all right? That is a one-way ticket for 99% of people to get wrecked. All right. There's a few people out there who I know personally in my trading networking that can trade without really necessarily planning it. They just kind of know, right? And they have mental risk management, mental stop losses. You're probably not one of those people. I'm not one of those people, and most people I know are not one of those people. All right. You got a plan. So when it happens, look, I had a plan here. My plan was we come down a little bit lower. I want to see bullish divs in this zone. Then I take a trade. It happens. I already knew what I'm going to do, right? I already knew what I was planning to do. Look, we had very bullish divs. So let me go ahead and take the dang trade. All right, locked in at TP1 at the value area high. Right? So that's what we got to do. That's why we're coming up with different scenarios here. Because the last thing you want to do, unless you're one of those very few people, is be trading in the moment based on how you feel. All right, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to systematize this as much as possible so that the emotions, which are always going to be there, are not going to be driving the ship. All right, and if this is something you want to learn more, check out the free trading course on my dang YouTube channel. We got a free course, 100% free. All right, 100% free, walking you through 18 sessions, how to actually systematize this to control the variables that you can control. Like when it comes to trading, there are certain things you can't control. Where's the price going to go next? You can't control it. All right? Can't control that at all. What can you control? You can control where you take a trade, when you take a trade, how much you risk on a trade. And these are the variables that we need to refine to develop our strategy in order then to basically, in my opinion, trade with longevity over the course of time, right? You're not going to win every trade. But if you set it up properly, you can be profitable. You can be profitable over time. All right? Now, yeah, this is the current Bitcoin scenario. Let's take a look at the weekly market Cipher B because we just closed the week. We got a purple Doge. All right, purple Doge. I'm going to make a new meme coin called Purple Doge. The purple Doji candle, historically speaking, if we break out, close, and print a purple Doji, the next candle is going to be blue. All right, that's just the probabilities right now based on the pattern. Let's go down to our 2-day. All right, 2-day red dot printing confirmed. 3-day red dot confirmed. Money flow is still getting thicker here. Now, I'm looking at this momentum wave. I'm looking at this momentum wave, Here's what we really need, guys. Here's what we need to happen right now. We need a daily green dot. We need a daily green dot on market Cipher B, nice and tight. All right, momentum's coming down below the 60 line. We need something like this. All right, we need like a May 7th green dot. We need like a like a May 18th green dot on Market Cipher B. We need another July 9th green dot on Market Cipher B. That's gonna give us continuity here. We come down to our 4 hour. 4 hour looking quite interesting here, guys. The reason why I say that is this. When you see on Market Cipher this kind of thing here, squeezing together, all right, squeezing together on Market Cipher B, money flow coming down, but the momentum waves squeezing together. This really is showing a squeeze before a big move, all right? Now, what else is interesting here is we see, if you take a look closely, the 4 hour time frame, money flow is coming down. Remember, in a very bullish trend, the zero line acts as support, right? Zero line acts as support. Look at the money flow here. We get the cross, the zero line acts as support before the next big pump. Now money flow is even thicker. We're coming down to make another higher low. Oftentimes this will act as support. Now look at this. Last night, when we came down to the level from the trade that I took last night in the Casper crew, right? Which, by the way, I mean, look at that entry, man. You know, I'm not trying to toot my own Casper horn, but that is a juicy entry, man. Now, that was just pure luck, I'll be honest. Not luck, it was the blessing of the Lord because, you know, I just marketed into there. I didn't know it was going to be the bottom, and different exchanges hit different level. But it looks cool on Twitter. And the number one reason we all got into trading in the first place is to look cool on Twitter. Has nothing to do with making money. Has to do with screenshots on Twitter. Now, as we came down to this low, look at our oscillator here, made a higher low. A bullish divergence, all right, aka the uneven butt cheek pattern. Would you look at that? Very bullish looking. Look at our 1 hour here. As we came down to the low, what happened on the 1 hour? Bullish divergence. Very interesting. Look at the 24 minute. As we came down to the low, what did we see? Look at the money flow here. Guys, look at the money flow. Money flow is crossing, getting higher as we are making that low. Look at this. Money flow continuation. Like Market Cipher, man, this is a crazy indicator. All right, this is why I was confident to post my long trade last night in the Discord. And there were some bearish people in there too. And you know, look, I'm not gonna lie. When I'm long and people are bearish, I'm not gonna lie. It freaks me out. It makes me second guess myself. You know, I'm just trusting the dang plan, trusting the dang indicator here. We go to the 12 minute. What do we see as we came down to that low? Look at the money flow. Look at the money flow. It's crossing from the purple into the blue as we tap down into that level. All right. So that's the thing. We're seeing that we want to see the daily green dot. And as we zoom in on the lower time frames, we're like, okay, it looks like we could get the green dot soon. How's the 4 hour looking? Oh, bullish divergence? 1 hour bullish divergence? 24 minute. Wow, look at that. Bullish money flow. So to me, this is why I think it is possible that we do see more upside. Now, of course, it might not happen. Remember, weekend price action is always shady. But one more thing that actually surprised me is this. I took this trade, right? I took the trade here. This is before daily open. Then daily open, we come down, we just make a slight higher low. That's very interesting. You would think, and I would think, because I went to bed early. I go to bed early, right? I wasn't even looking at the chart when this happened here. I thought, this is really what I thought. I hit a little TP1 up here as a scalp. And I thought Asia's going to stop me out, and when I wake up, we're probably going to have dipped down to 115, and then when I wake up, my trade's going to be stopped out, and we're going to be back up like around 119. That's what I thought was going to happen. It didn't happen. Asia opened. We get a little dip, a higher low, and then boom, we make a higher high. So very interesting stuff. Almost as if Asia had the chance to do the liquidity hunt, but they didn't do it. So look, is there still a chance we drop? Of course. Like New York's about to open in about an hour, 10 minutes. And like I said, if we're going to make another low below this area, we're most likely going to come and take all this out. Because this is the liquidity. These are the stop hunts. This is where, if we're going to get a flash crash, this is where it's going to be. We're going to take out these series of lows. All right. But there is a case to be made based on the high and low time frames that this low that we made last night is another significant low, and we could come back up towards our next major target, which in my opinion is going to be around $121,000. That's the next zone that we have here. We break and hold above 121, then I think we're breaking out of this, and we're going to go towards 130. All right, that's my honest thoughts on it right now. And we got to give a major shout to our super chat in Hoos. Justin says, look at TIA. All right, we'll look at TIA real quick. Then we'll take a look at some other assets that are not TIA. All right. Let's see. How's TIA looking? Well, we're literally at the bottom. I mean, there's nothing else we could say. We're at the bottom on TIA. All right. We've come down. We've consolidated, and now we're breaking back up into this zone. What does that mean? Well, here's what it means, guys. We don't really yet have any major sign of strength because we haven't changed market structure. But I would say this, all right? I don't know anything about TIA. Big disclaimer, I don't hold TIA. I don't plan to hold TIA. As far as I know, TIA means ant in Espanol, or aunt, depending on what you say. I don't know anything about it, all right? I don't know the tokenomics. I don't know if it's a scam coin created by Kamala Harris. Like, I don't know. But I do have to say this. Objectively speaking here, there's 20 times more upside than downside. We are pretty bottomed out. And if we take off this, I mean, this is just clearly the type of pattern that you want to be longing in a bull run, right? If we expect an alt season, this is what you would want to be longing. Now, some words of caution. We don't have bullish div on the weekly. That's a word of caution. The 2-day, we do have some bullish div. Money flow is iffy. All right, so there's a lot of speculation here based on our indicator. We don't have clear bottom signals on the indicators. This is purely based on risk to reward ratio. The only reason you would take this position is because you say to yourself, we're literally at the bottom. We lost the level, we reclaimed level, we have about a week of holding above that level. We're forming a falling wedge in a bull market with 20 times more upside than downside, right? And so you do it understanding it's not maybe necessarily the most probable, but it's not a bad place to get in. And in addition to it not being a bad place to get in, you know what you're risking, right? You're risking 1 to make 20. You know what you're looking to make. Now, what would be a better sign of strength on this would obviously have to be coming up, making a higher high, which would mean coming above $3.30, above $3.30, and then getting in on a back test, right? Once we hit $3.30, that's a change of structure. You could look to get in on a back test, and that would be a better sign of strength, all right? Now, I don't really know anything about TIA, but I do know a thing or two about Ethereum. All right, ETH currently at $3,800. And this, as I said, I have moved some of my spot ETH. When I saw that we were reclaiming 3,003, I moved some of my spot ETH into an account on Bybit, inverse perpetual. And I've got myself a very low leverage long running on ETH to try within the next few months to grow my ETH on spot so that I can then sell it at some of my targets. Now, ETH, would you look at this, man? We got to put this back on log. Let's take a look at this. This is nuts. All right, let's remove everything here. Now, I know I've been super bullish. I've been bullish on ETH. I know I've been taking a lot of heat for it. All right, is it hot in here or is it just me? You know, I'm sweating. Why am I sweating? All right, woo. Is it hot in here or is it just me? All right, man, woo. All right, look at that. You know it's hot in here when you can do whatever you want with your hair and it just stays. But look, here's the deal. We are breaking out of this trend line again. This to me is so dang bullish right now. And remember, we're not just bullish because we're at the top. Please understand, I'm not bullish because we're at the top. All right, that is not why I'm bullish. I'm bullish because I had a series of criteria that was going to keep me bullish on specifically ETH and the altcoins. What was that criteria? Criteria number one, Bitcoin needs to make a new high and close the weekly candle strong. All right. If we can't do that in the summer, we're not expecting ETH to pump. All right, even though it looked really good, even though the monthly had very good looking momentum, unless we close the weekly candle above this level, we're not looking for that big pump. All right. Thing number two that we were looking at was the altcoin season index, right? We were saying, look, it looks like we're about to head into an all season here because the altcoin season index was below 25, right? It was below 25, which historically means this is when you are expecting a pump. So we're saying, okay, looks like altcoin season getting ready to happen, but we need Bitcoin to break out and hold above that level, right? And then the third thing that we're looking at is the actual altcoin charts. All right, ETH printing a green dot on the monthly, a historic signal. I don't think even for me, I don't understand the gravity of this signal being printed here. Usually, you only print a momentum wave below that zero line during a bear market, when Bitcoin is way below the bull cycle all-time high. We printed it while Bitcoin was holding above the previous market cycle all-time high. All right. Not only that, but we saw ETH coming down to bear market prices, in which we were saying this is either the opportunity of the market cycle or ETH really is dead. Now, I don't believe ETH is dead. Look at the 2 month right now, printing this green dot, man. We confirmed this in August. That is just setting us up, man, for the fall. We confirmed that thing in August. That's setting us up for a very bullish fall on ETH. Now, look at this trend line. We had the fake out already. We had the fake out. All right? We had the fake out. We had the swing failure pattern. We made a lower low. We basically had a deviation bullish below the sideways range. This is our sideways range right here. All right, let's clear this off. Let's just look at the pattern, because this is very telling. We had our clearly defined high right here. We had our clearly defined low right here. In fact, we could take that low all the way back to the previous market cycle, right? We did stop hunt of the high, all the way back down to the bottom of the range. Big fake out. Now we're back, basically trading above major what used to be resistance now as support, all right? And we are once again breaking out of the trend line. All right, it's our second chance. If this was really a bearish scenario, in my opinion, we would not be having our second shot at this trend line right now, all right? With momentum bottomed out. See, here's the thing. Historically speaking, because someone in the beginning of the stream was saying, looks like a top signal all around, right? Historically speaking, this would happen at the end of a bull run, and the momentum would be well above the 60 line, right? Momentum would be way up here. We would see ETH looking like this. And people would be saying, "Oh, bullish, bullish, bullish." Okay, but momentum's topped out. Again, more bearish divergence. Okay, so maybe that's a little out of line there. We are seeing this happen right now with momentum oversold on the monthly. Monthly time frame. Ethereum considered undervalued. Okay, as we see Bitcoin holding a higher high. This is pretty crazy. And then we shoot for our targets based on Fibonacci. We take our trend-based Fibonacci extensions from the bear market low to the high to the low. Let's see, it's really hard to do here. These would be our next targets. First of all, our 1-to-1 Fibonacci extension, around 5,005. Next, we have the $7,000 target, but really I'm looking at that $8,500 1.618 Fibonacci extension right there. And then moonshot target would be our 2-to-1 $10,000 ETH. All right. Because we break this trend line, man. Look, I mean, look at this. Do you guys know what this is called? You guys know what this is called? Where you have a big move up, and then you consolidate in a triangle, and then it breaks out. It's called a bull flag. You know, the most basic thing of technical analysis. We're forming a massive one over the course of the last half decade with momentum bottomed out. It's my belief that we will come back in hindsight and talk about how obvious this signal was. It's so obvious, but a lot of people are scared to trust it. But one thing I've learned, man, market Cipher B on the high time frames. I can't think of a single time the high time frame market Cipher B has failed me, except for Cardano. Except for Cardano in that never-ending rundown where we had the weekly bullish divergences that didn't necessarily play out. Yeah, we had that right here. We had a weekly div right here that didn't play out. All right. It did a little bit, but then we got another lower low. And then this gave us another lower low. So it was a long drawn out time. But I can't think of another time other than that one time for Cardano where the high time frame market Cipher B doesn't play out. All right. Now remember, high time frame, that means there's room for volatility here, right? You know, you see a monthly signal, and on the monthly chart, looks like this. You know, monthly's just going up and up and up, but you zoom into this area, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, because we're ranging, right? That's why you got to separate your day trading from your swing trading. All right. But ETH is looking really nice. You know what else is looking really nice right now, guys? You know what? We'll take a look at some other stuff. AVAX is looking really nice. Man, oh man, look, we are pumping, guys. This is one I've been saying for a long time. The risk to reward on AVAX is absolutely amazing. Right, this one hasn't gotten the pump yet. All right, this one isn't even close to the trend line yet. But this is the weekly time frame. Multiple drive of bullish divergence on the weekly. All right, multiple drive. Bullish divergence is here. Bullish divergences in here. Bullish market structure. We're back testing and holding key support. We haven't begun to move up yet, in my opinion. Look at the monthly time frame. We have not printed the green dot yet. It looks to me like August might be the month that we get this yellow oscillator crossing the zero line, that we see the green dot printing on AVAX. All right, I'm very bullish on AVAX, and really the reason why, one of the main reasons why I'm so bullish on AVAX, and obviously, you know, over the past week, guys, we've seen a move up on this. Over the past 3 weeks, we've already seen 55% gains. All right, since we had that amazing opportunity down here back in the box. But even after a 55% gain, there's still 8 times more upside than downside. And that's not crazy. 3 weeks ago, there was 20 more times upside than downside. This is why we're looking for these charts that haven't gotten the pump yet, but the charts look really bullish. This is still really good. Assuming we just hit the previous all-time high in AVAX, that's 8 times more upside than downside. We come up, let's say, to a $200, right? I don't think that's too crazy to say that we're going to come up 36% higher than last cycle. A 12-to-1 risk-reward from where we're at right now. You know, these are the kind of charts. AVAX is a solid project. A solid project. It's at the lows as we're seeing all these things, right? Let's take a look at some other coins. Some people have been talking about Vechain. I want to take a look at Vechain. I haven't really looked at it too much. But I've seen some people talking about it on Twitter. So let's go to the monthly here. Let's take a little look at the monthly on Vechain. Is this a good opportunity here? Okay, so here's what I see. This is literally my first time analyzing Vechain in a very long time. I see this. On the weekly time frame, on the monthly time frame, a bullish divergence, all right? Bullish divergence. Then we see a change of market structure. We start making higher highs and higher lows. let's see if we continue to hold this. Come over here. Okay, very interesting, man. So, very interesting. We actually made higher highs and higher lows, but then we came down for a double bottom. Let's go to the weekly. Wow, okay, so we had a bullish divergence on the monthly. Then we had a bullish divergence on the weekly right here. Quite interesting. Money flow starting to come up. Let's take a look right now at risk to reward on Vechain. Again, I don't own Vechain. I used to. I'm just curious because this might be something I could want to get into a little bit here. Let's take a look at risk to reward. We're going to take a look at the range. We're above POC. Let's talk about that risk to reward. You know, the low value area low. With our target up at about previous all-time high. It's a 20-to-1 risk reward right now. 20-to-1 risk reward on Vechain. Let's pull the volume back to here. Holding above POC right now. Now I have to say, it is nice to see us holding above POC and making higher lows after a pretty clear bottom in the summer of 2023. I gotta look more into Vechain here. I haven't done any like fundamental research on Vechain in a long time, since the last market cycle. I'm gonna see what's going on with it. But this is actually a pretty good risk to reward right now. I want to take a look also at another one, in my opinion, a sleeping giant, Cardano. Look, man, we've been talking about this now for a long time, but it looks like it's really starting to play out here. All right, we got multiple drives with bull div on these high time frames. Look at the monthly. Look at the monthly, guys. We're about to confirm the green dot in 10 days, 12 hours. We're about to confirm the green dot on the monthly time frame. No joke. Look at the weekly. Bullish divergence. This is a bottom signal if I've ever seen one. Change of market structure. Trigger wave. Change of market structure again. Come down. We're seeing literally hidden bullish divergences. Weekly divergences here, guys, as we're breaking out. The weekly, Cardano is going to run, man. Cardano is going to pump. I hold a lot, not financial advice. We hit $7. We hit $6. The target of our cup and handle is $6. It was a 12-to-1 yesterday. Today it's a 10-to-1. It was a 20-to-1, you know, back when we were looking at this consolidation here. It was a 20-to-1. Man, look at that. Now it's down just to a 10-to-1. But this is my Cardano plan, man. Stan, Jan. We can. Got to give a major shout out to Siraj, who says, gotta look at Ondo. We have 333 likes. God bless you guys. Make sure to smash up the likes. Can we get the likes up to the dang watchers? Shout out to Ondo. And shout out to Siraj. Oh man. This is Binance. You want to look at it on Bybit? Yeah, we'll look at it on Bybit. Wow, okay, so here's the deal, guys. Weekly time frame on Ondo, bullish divergence. Let's go to the monthly. Not enough data. Is it data or data? Is it data or data? Data. We've got the uneven butt cheek pattern forming on the chart. It's absolutely smashing, young lads and old lads as well. All right, let's remove that, make that lower. And we are coming up to this area here. So look, this looks very nice. It looks very nice. It looks very nice. 2-day time frame, money flow cross, very bullish. Here's the problem I have with Ondo right now. Unless you're already in, it's really not the best risk to reward. It's a 2-to-1. Okay, it's a 2-to-1. it's not the best. We would hope for a pullback here. We would hope for a pullback. It looks really bullish, which means any kind of pullback now we get, in an ideal world, we would want to see like an introverted head and shoulders here. And we would want to be able to ladder in here in a dip so we can get a better risk reward. It looks very bullish, but unless you're already in, I don't know if we have a good entry right now. The only entry we could have, excuse me, sorry. I was doing some assault bike sprints this morning and I inhaled some chalk dust in the gym. And so it's like irritated my throat a little bit here. The only other thing we have would be this. We break, we backtest, and that could also give us a good entry here with a closer invalidation, right? Because what's very important about any asset we're buying or trading is not what we think is going to happen. It's what potential reward could we get. Like, I could be super bullish on Ondo, but obviously, even if I'm bullish, it's not the best opportunity, right? Just based on where the price is right now. We get something like this, that's also could be a better risk to reward than longing right now literally into the resistance, stop below the low. You know, it's just a 2-to-1, if you know what I mean. All right? If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. All right, let's check out. I just want to take a quick look at Ripple. Man, oh man, new high. XRP going to $5, baby. Man, oh man, we've been calling that one too. I've been calling that one too. Make sure to smash the dang likes, guys. Make sure to smash up the likes. All right. Make sure if you want to trade Bitcoin and altcoins, you check out the sponsors: WEEX, BLOFIN, KCEX, ANTARCTIC Exchange. If you're looking for a great trading community, where myself and other instructors are walking you through the live price action every weekday, multiple times a day. We don't give signals. This is not a signal. Just because I'm taking along here doesn't mean you should. But we walk you through our trades. We walk you through what we're doing, why we're doing it. JasonCasperTrading.com, best trading community in the world. All right. Also got to give a big shout out to KCEX. It's the new exchange I'm trading on. Very, very low fees. And I love it, man. I love this exchange. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I really, really enjoy it. I really enjoy trading on it. It really is so smooth. There's no quirks. You know, a lot of these other exchanges, they got some quirks. They're not that smooth. This is just as smooth as MEXC was in 2023, and the fees are just as low. This has that MEXC 2023 vibe, baby. I'm feeling it. Look, any exchange out there, you're trying to really impress, just do whatever MEXC did in 2023. All right, you'll be good. All right. You'll be good. All right. Post some coins in the chat. I'm going to take this vest off. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, baby. I got a quick 10,000 steps in there with the 25-pound weighted vest. Now I'm just gonna go up my normal body weight. I'm down to 197. I'm not trying to cut. I'm not trying to cut, guys. I'm actually eating around 5,000 calories a day right now. I'm trying to bulk, and I feel like I'm definitely stronger. But I'm weighing less. So I'm hoping it's a recomp here. I definitely don't think I'm losing muscle. I think I'm just getting leaner. I'm actually pretty dang lean right now. Can't remember the last time I've actually been this lean. I've definitely never been this lean while eating so much food. Never even thought it was possible to be so lean, eating close to 5,000 calories a day. All right, we got H-Bar in the chat. ICP, Caspa, Shib. I can't do a freestyle, unfortunately, because my audio's messed up. You guys can hear it, I can't. All right. Yeah, we're going vestless, baby. All right. We'll take a look at H-Bar. H-Bar. Oh, wow. Okay, so H-bar been getting a move, really, ever since we got that break above this level. So I still say this is a good thing going for H-bar. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of these coins, they've already started to get the move now. So let's see. This target was based, if I'm not mistaken, on a bull flag. Yeah, it's based on the bull flag. So right now, it was a 10-to-1. Now it's about a 2-to-1 risk reward for the target of the bull flag, which is also the previous all-time high. So really, it's very bullish looking. The 2-day money flow, look at this, absolutely gorgeous. Money flow getting higher. We have ourselves a nice looking bottom, change of market structure. Check out our weekly. A really nice hidden bullish divergence on the weekly. That's really cool. Yeah, it looks like we have more upside here. I would really have to wait for a back test on this thing, like some kind of a back test, you know, in order to get in, to make this a better risk to reward. We've already back tested 22 cents, the support resistance flip. We did that last week, and we got a bounce. So it's tough, but it's tough to look for an entry on these high time frames. We have to look for more of a lower time frame entry. And here's the thing, a lot of times we don't get that in these altcoins. You gotta be very aggressive. So, you know, that's the kind of thing you need to just know what you're doing and be able to look in the moment. But right now, it's bullish. Our target is 57 cents. From right here, we're risking 1 to make 2. You risk $1 to make 2. You know, when we were first breaking this out, it was risking 1 to make 10. So, you know, consider and or buy the dip. Like when you see money flow coming higher like this, you see a bullish divergence, change of structure, hidden bullish divergences. You know, that's when you can buy the dip. It's not a good idea to buy the dip when you're seeing bearish divergences and stuff like that, right? But we're seeing bull divs here, a breakout of a falling wedge, bull pennant with some pretty intense, what I would consider even to be realistic targets. You know, ICP. We were looking at ICP the other day. So look, the one thing I was saying about ICP is this: Insane Clown Posse, Internet Coin Protocol. It does seem like a good project. I follow some YouTubers that talk a lot about ICP, and it does seem like a good project. And right now, the risk to reward on ICP is insane. Assuming our higher low is in, which is likely, and assuming we come back up to $83, which we hit in September 2021, this is almost a 40-to-1 risk reward ratio. If we have it below the low, it's still a 25-to-1 risk reward ratio. The risk to reward on ICP is insane. The only thing I don't like is we don't have the weekly bull div, right? We don't have the weekly bull div at this low, but we do have one here right now. We have a weekly bull div here, so that is a good thing to see, considering we're heading into what we think is going to be the last big blow off top of this altcoin season, crypto season. And really, just look at the chart. I mean, let's get rid of that stupid wick. But man, that's, you know, look at the upside compared to downside. I mean, you're buying low. So do your fundamental research on ICP. If you feel it's a solid project, we are seeing bullish signs here. We're seeing bullish div. We're seeing a loss and a reclaim of we had the support, we lost it, we broke up, we're getting the back test, right? We're forming somewhat of a descending channel, which if we break out, could very easily come back up to our all-time highs, because we don't have very good market structure up in this area. We would slice through this like a hot knife through butter. We would slice through all this. And once we break out of the trend line, probabilities are highest, we come to the top of the channel, and then just like a knife through hot butter, a cold knife through hot butter or a hot knife through room temperature butter, we'd slide right through there. All right, we'd slide right through. We got some super chats. Super chit chat, baby. What about that, baby? All right. Shout out to Court Dama. God bless you. Thank you for the super chat. Could we look at Turbo? Yeah. All right, so we've got this channel. We're getting a little bit of a pullback from value area high. Let's remove everything, do some fresh analysis. We've got ourselves this. That's our clear support resistance flip. A break above and a back test, that would be a good entry signal. We are on our weekly time frame. Trigger wave printed. Let's go to the 2-day. Beautiful divergence right here. Beautiful trigger wave right here. Yeah, so here's the deal. Here's what I would say about Turbo. What makes it tough is where we are right now, right? We're heading into resistance. We're heading into resistance. The entry is tough. Are we bullish on the asset in general? Yeah. Yeah, we came to value area low. We came to value area high. We're holding above POC. If we don't hold above POC, then we would look for a back test. Let's remove all this stuff. Right now, a good entry on Turbo would be right in this area here. All right? Right in this area here. Between 3,300 and 3,700. All right, this is going to be key right now, just based on the market structure. We don't want to make a lower low here. We don't want to make a lower low because we want to maintain this like sideways range here. We actually, what we want to do is we want to just come down, make a higher low. That would be a good place, in my opinion, to get in on this, because that would give us to our all-time high. You know, if we do come down to here, what would that give us? That would give us a 13-to-1 risk reward. If we got in now, we're long into resistance. It's just a 3.4, 3.5 to 1. Still acceptable, but not necessarily the best. And the 2-day is looking like she does want to kind of top out. The daily, it's ambiguous. I mean, you do what you want. This is an acceptable entry here. The best entry would be a back test of coming back down to the low of this sideways range here. You know? Shout out to Silosis. He says Binance coin. Let's check it out. Wow. We did break down from that rising wedge. All right, let's remove all this stuff. Man, look at this crazy range here. All right, I'm just going to be going based on this. So we had our nice bottom. We had our pump. We're forming this. We got some weekly bear div. You know, I'm a little bit confused on Binance coin. I don't really have a bias. I would assume it would pump if we're heading into a bull run, but I don't really see any clear signals here. We're trading within a sideways range. You know, objectively speaking, historically, we could even expect another rotation back down to here. You know, I don't see bearish divergences yet up here. Yeah, there actually is some slight weekly bear div up here. We had some weekly bull div down here. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to me. Like, what would I do right now on BNB? I would leave it alone, to be honest with you. I would leave it alone with a bullish bias. You know, and say that this is bullish. I mean, what I would say is this: a more clear signal for me would have to be if we can break out of this and then back test it. Like, we pump, we come back down, and then we back test, because then we're retesting this trend line after the break of the ascending triangle. You know, it's an ascending triangle, it's a channel, however you want to look at it, with in a bull market, in bullish market structure. So we have to be bullishly biased, but we're literally at the top right now, so I would need to see a break, a back test, then I would look to get in. And it's a very long range. We've been ranging here since February 2021. A very long range. So I don't even know what a good target would be here. Let's go ahead and pull a Fibonacci trend-based extension from the bear market to the bull market to the bear market. And let's see if we can obtain some nice targets here. So our 1-to-1 is going to be an $869. Our 1.618 will be a $1,200. Our 2-to-1 will be a $1,500 BNB. Not too crazy. That's 100% gains from where we're at. Totally normal. Yeah. So I would say for me, I'm leaning bullish on it. I don't necessarily have a good entry on it right now. We're at the top of this ascending triangle. Unless we want to like really just speculate here and say you can get in, put the stop below, and then shoot for our 2-to-1. That's all. Yeah. All right. Let's. You know, I'd much rather wait for a better entry on this. But yeah, definitely bullish on it for sure. All right, got to give a major shout out to Mr. Predator LP, Dog and One. Mr. Predator LP, we'll have to look at this another time, because right now we're going to be moving over to the Casper Crew VIP Discord to look for another juicy setup, just like the trade setup that we took yesterday in the Casper Crew when I let everyone know I was going long over on good old KCEX. We're going to be doing that right now. So I got to head out over to the VIP Discord, jasonstratham.com. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell. I will see you guys next time. Peace.